Basketball season is right around the corner, and we've got our coaches show coming up next on Conversations. Hello and welcome to Conversations. I'm your host, Jeannie Curtis. On today's show, we're talking basketball. It's our coaches show, and we'll be talking with all 12 Arlington ISD varsity coaches, our 6 girl teams and our 6 boy teams. So, doing our interviews today is John Nelson. Here's to you, John.
All right, Jeannie, thank you very much. We begin with Lamar. Aaron Levels leads the Lady Viking. Aaron is in her 6th year. Zach Burke is in his 4th year leading the Lamar Vikings. And Aaron, if we'll turn to you first, Coach, last year you tied the school record for the most wins with 24. You advanced 3 rounds deep. You really had a nice season last year. How would you summarize the way things went?
Our season last year was a success. We went 3 rounds deep, as you said. We tied the school record of 24 and 14. The girls worked really hard. They were able to get some college scholarships. Out of that group, we graduated 7. So it was a good group, and now it's time for us to regroup and start over again.
Aaron, it seems like Janae Keys just got better and better. I mean, she's really improved, sophomore, junior, and now a senior.
Yes, disappointing news for Janae Keys. She tore her ACL the last tournament of the summer, and so she will not be with us maybe until district play. Hopefully, she signed with TCU. And she's en route now to return in December, hopefully.
Yeah, that's good. Zach, you had a young team last year. How do things shape up for 2012?
Actually, we're really starting over again. A lot of the kids transferred out, went to different schools, and so the group that I have coming in now, they're juniors, a couple of seniors, but they're inexperienced. So a lot of them played JV last year. So getting that varsity game experience, they're lacking that. So just trying to find bodies, healthy bodies, and guys that want to be there and participate.
Okay, to make the playoffs with a young team, how important was that?
It felt good. You know, to see those guys, you know, from where we started from, and like you said, they were young. I started a freshman point guard all year, and just to see those guys mature and make it to that point, it was a real great accomplishment, and so I was really proud of them, and I was really looking forward to everybody coming back and see if we can repeat and do it, and maybe take a couple of steps. Steps up the district ladder, but it's like that old saying: you play with the cards you dealt with. So
yeah, it makes coaches scratch their heads sometimes.
It makes mine go gray.
Okay, let me ask each of you, Aaron, your main concern between now and the first game.
Okay, what I'm really trying to figure out now is one thing that my girls could really be good at so that we can focus on that to be our focus point of the year. Really, it's defense, but I'm just trying to decide which defense is going to work well with the group of girls that I have. They're athletic. They don't have the highest basketball IQ, but we're working on that as well. All
right, Zach, your main concern between now and game 1?
Just players. Will my guys be able to handle that, like I said, at varsity level of competition? Just trying to find guys that I think are ready and I can throw in there and they can handle their own. So that's really one of my main concerns right now.
Okay, on the boys' side, Coach, how do you see the district and what tournaments will you be involved?
As usual, the district's going to be tough. You have all the Arlington schools. They're going to be tough. North Crowley's always tough. So night in and night out is very competitive. So but tournament-wise, our Lions Club tournament that's in Cedar Hill, very good tournament. That'll help us prepare for district, and the Fort Worth Coca-Cola tournament over the Christmas break, another good tournament. That'll help us as far as getting ready for district play as well.
Aaron, what about the district on the girls' side and your tournament schedule?
Okay, I'm looking at the district schedule. Bowie probably has the most returners, so they'll be the most experienced. I think it'll be competitive, as it always is. North Crowley will will be good. Martin will be good. They'll have some experience. I will be one of the less experienced teams since I've only have 3 returners. As far as our tournaments are concerned, we'll play in the Rotary in December, which is very competitive, and we'll also play in Flower Mound and Fort Worth, Cowtown.
All right, Aaron Levels, Zach Burks, good luck to Lamar this year.
Thank you.
Courtney Phillips coaching the Lady Cougars of Seguin, Bobby Thigpen coaching the Cougars squad. And Bobby, if we turn to you first, I know you had a very exciting season last year. You have a lot of returning starters. Where do things stand right now on the boys' side?
Probably pick the win district right now. I really don't like that fact, but I'd rather be 3rd or 4th coming in. But because of the year we had last year, they're probably going to pick us first. I think Lancaster probably finished 2nd in district, and I think it'll be a close race for 3rd and 4th between Lake Ridge and Mansfield Summit and probably Legacy. They're always good. And we never know what Red Oak's going to have. They're always decent. They have a lot of football kids, and Waxahachie as well. So it'll be a tough district. It's going to be every night you're going to have to come to play and just see what happens, you know. So hopefully we can, you know, hold up to our expectations and get through it.
Courtney, an exciting season last year, 20-plus wins. You have a lot of returning people coming back. I know you're excited, and this has been something that you've been looking forward to, I know, at least a year and a half.
For sure. We have everyone back from our last year's team. We did not graduate any seniors. And so we're excited. We are a regional quarterfinalist team. We got beat by Summit by 5, and they're state champions. They lost quite a bit, so it'll be interesting to see how it matches up this year. Red Oak has a D1 point guard that's just signed with Texas Tech, so they're going to be good. The MVP from the state tournament in 4A last year is now at Lake Ridge, so it should be interesting. And Waxahachie was in the regional tournament last year, so depending on what everybody does, it's going to be a knockdown, drag out for those 4 spots.
Courtney, what did you learn about your team in the playoffs last year? And you have a young lady that has committed to a nice university.
Yes, Dwanisha Tate is a senior, and she's is committed to University of Texas, San Antonio. We're extremely excited for her, something she's been working on since she was a freshman. When she came in, she was like, I want to be a D1 basketball player. She is officially a D1 basketball player. You know, one thing I learned about my team is they're fighters. You know, we 2 seniors quit the midseason last year. We took some bumps and bruises, had some concussions, had some injuries, and lost 2 kids, 2 starters to knee injuries, first round of the playoffs, but they fight hard. And with everybody coming back, that's the kind of season I look forward to, is that we're going to fight hard, tooth and nail every game.
Bobby, you have a couple of players that have committed. Talk about them.
Yes, Brandon Parrish is committed to TCU, and that was quite a big signing for us, or commitment for us. It'll be our first for Seguin's history to have a player play major college basketball. And he's a hard worker. He works hard. He's always in the gym. He really deserves it because all the hard work he's put in, and his stock went up this spring through AAU ball. He had a great showing in 2 or 3 tournaments, and I was getting phone calls almost every day about him, and you know, it just went from TCU offering to Oklahoma State to Marquette. He just had a bunch of options, and it really helps that he was a smart kid and had a high GPA where he can pick pretty much any school he wanted to go to, and he chose to stay home and go to TCU, so it was a good fit for him, I think.
Marcus Frazier's back, and then another young man that has committed to North Texas.
Yes, Greg Wesley committed to North Texas, and you know, he had a great summer as well, and had a lot of schools looking at him, and he just visited North Texas and really fell in love with it, and he thought that was a place that really cared for him, and that's where he wanted to be. So, you know, I think he made a good decision. It's be a great league for him.
Coach, talk about Marcus Frazier and Mr. Bowie also.
Marcus Frazier has a chance to be a Division I point guard, possibly. We're waiting to see what happens. He's getting recruited by University of Hawaii, Cal Poly, Southeastern Louisiana, McNeese State. Schools like that are looking at him, and we're just trying to wait and see what they offer, if they offer or not. So he has a chance to play Division I. Chris Bower has visited Texas A&M Commerce, and he's waiting on Angelo State and Abilene Christian. Those schools are interested, so we'll wait and see what happens. Recruiting's kind of a funny game. They either want you or they don't want you, so we're just trying to convince the coaches, hey, these kids can play for you. Let's give them an opportunity, and hopefully it'll happen.
You had a playoff game last year against Arlington Heights that was played at the American Airlines Center in Dallas. What was that like for the kids and as a coach to play on that court?
It was quite stunning, to be honest. It was a little overwhelming at first, when we got there, and we practiced there the day of to try to get the newness out of it and to get used to the atmosphere. And I think we settled down. We just had some misfortune happen that game, and we didn't quite do what we wanted to do. But like I told the kids, everybody's coming back, and everything happens for a reason. I think if we had got past that game and went further, I don't know if they'll be as hungry this year as they were last year. So hopefully now that they have that bad taste in their mouth, that they'll get to that next level.
Courtney, what about the tournaments that the Lady Cougars will play in?
It's going to be tough. We're going to, our first tournament will be in Pflugerville, and we play Pflugerville and Harker Heights, and both of those teams were undefeated, and I think till about the last week of the season last year when they both got upset. So Dallas Skyline will be there. It's going to be some really tough competition, and then we finish up at Christmas in the Mansfield Rotary, which is probably the top premier girls basketball tournament in Texas. So all the tough teams will be there. So it'll be interesting to see how we fare in both of those tournaments.
Coach, good luck to the Cougars. Courtney, good luck to the Lady Cougars.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With B.J. Kaiser of Arlington High and David Clyde. And Coach Clyde, if we'll turn to you first, what excites you about the upcoming season? And right now, where is the strength of your team?
Well, John, we have several kids that played on the varsity last year, and have 2 kids that have played, this will be their 3rd year on the varsity. So we're not lacking in experience for sure. We had kind of a baptism by fire last year. We had a lot of young kids having to play on the varsity that had no varsity experience, but we have we're not real tall, but we have 3 or 4 kids that are in the 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" range that are some of our better players. Trey Johnson, Winston Canterbury, Devon Anderson. The last 2 are the kids that have been on the varsity since their sophomore year and participated in the team that won 26 games and went to the second round of the playoffs. So they've had a little taste of success, and hoping that with their experience that translates into bigger and better things for this year.
BJ, who are some of the Lady Colts that fans should keep an eye on this year, and how excited are you about the upcoming season?
I'm very excited. Georgia Beatty has been all district 2 years in a row, so she's a junior this year. She has 2 years under her belt, so I expect big things from her. And then I have a class of some freshmen that are coming in that are going to be actually pretty good. A post player, Tasia Moore. She's about 5'10", 5'11", so she's a big kid for us. And then my point guard, Zaria Nails. So I'm expecting big things from kids that are, inexperienced, but I'm hoping that, some of the older kids like Georgia Beatty, Haley Oakhurst, Bailey Wilden, I hope that they can lead them in the right direction.
You're going to have senior leadership regardless of what year it is, right?
Oh, yes. I've got 6 seniors this year. I only graduated 2 last year, so we're senior heavy. So hopefully they'll carry my younger ones on. But I think the younger ones, they play top-level AAU, so I'm hoping that, they'll get the experience that they need in our preseason.
BJ, what about the tournaments you'll take part in this year, and what do you really need to work on between now and your first game?
Oh, there's a lot of things that we need to work on, but mostly just getting the new kids learning our offenses, learning the defenses that I'm wanting to use this year, learning on concepts, everything that goes along with what I want from them. And then our tournaments are, we play Ennis, we play in the Boswell tournament, and we play in the Grand Prairie tournament.
Coach Clyde, what about the tournaments the Colts will be involved?
2 out of the 3 are tournaments that we've been going to the last several years. Of course, the Arlington Classic, the first weekend in December, and that tournament has kind of come full circle. We struggled there for a few years trying to get teams to come, and the last couple of years we've had as strong a field as anybody's had. we get to open with Fort Worth Dunbar this year in the Arlington Classic, so that's always exciting to play. Good teams that have storied pasts and been real successful. We go to Flower Mound the second weekend in December. The Marcus Jaguar Classic is the name of that tournament, and you're guaranteed 5 games in that tournament. They play pool play and then bracket play, so that's always good for us to get a lot of playing in at that point in the season. And then our new tournament is we're going to Aledo right after Christmas. We'd been going to Plano, and we decided to do something a little different, see some different teams, and kind of get away from the Metroplex just a little bit, and yet not have to spend the night. So,
right, yeah. All right, good luck to both of you at Arlington High. With Kelly Carruthers and Alan Gratz of Bowie High as we preview the Lady Vols and the Vols. Coach Gratz, a nice season last year. Tell me about what you have coming back and where your strength is.
Well, last year we struggled a little bit. We was pretty fortunate. We was able to salvage our season in the playoffs. I've got pretty much everybody back. I have 5 starters back from last year who started most of the ball games for us. We're still going to be somewhat young, but I've got a lot more experience this year than what I had last year.
Tell me about your point guard, and tell me about the strength of your team right now.
I think our strength is probably going to be our speed, and hopefully it's going to be our ability to shoot the basketball. We didn't shoot the ball very well last year. We spent a lot of time in off season shooting the basketball in the preseason, and hopefully that's going to carry over. Jeremy Singland, he's a really good guard. He's a combo guard for me. He's already committed to Weber State, and I think he's going to be the leader and probably going to be playing the point guard for most of the time for us this year.
Kelly, 29 wins last year. Do you think about what you could have done had you gotten by Lubbock Coronado in the playoffs?
Definitely. I think that game we had a lot of mental mistakes. We tried to do a little bit too much, and we just had a lot of mishaps, missed a lot of layups, had a lot of errors on our end, but we were already looking past that game, and I think we just kind of underestimated them.
What about the tournament schedule for the Lady Vols this year?
We have Colleyville Heritage Tournament starting out 1st of November, and then we changed from the Ennis Tournament. We're now in the Cowtown Tournament, and then we'll have the Mansfield Rotary Invitation.
How do you see the district on the girls' side this year for Bowie?
Hopefully we'll be in the top. Hopefully we'll be in the top. We have a pretty good team this year. Have 7 seniors, 4 juniors, and 2 sophomores. So they all know what they want. They're very determined, and it's a good group of girls. So we're looking forward to it.
Coach Gratz, what about the tournament schedule for the Vols, and how do you see the district shaping up?
Well, we always go to Houston. We go to the Fort Bend tournament, and we always have a lot of really good competition down there. We see a lot of schools that we wouldn't normally see because they're not even in our region. But we're looking like we're going to play, hopefully get a chance to play Fort Bend Bush or Fort Bend Travis, some of those real good Fort Bend schools. We're playing in the Arlington Classic again this year, and we're also playing the Coca-Cola tournament in Fort Worth. District-wise, I think it's going to be another tight race, and I think should come down, I think, between us, North Crowley, and probably Arlington Martin, because all 3 of us got the most players back from last season.
You went to the quarterfinals last year, played North Crowley, but then a lot of teams didn't fare too well against North Crowley a season ago.
Yeah, last season was a tough season for us. It was the first losing season that I've had in my 13 years at Bowie. But the amazing thing about it, towards the end of the year, we had a pretty good district run and was playing pretty well going into the playoffs, and was fortunate to go 3 rounds deep in the playoffs. Even though whenever I looked at our record going into the playoffs, we had the worst record in the state of Texas, and nobody really thought that wouldn't make much noise in the playoffs. But like I said, we salvaged our season, and we had a good little playoff run.
Kelly, do the seniors you have expect to get, first of all, in the playoffs, expect to make maybe a little deeper run?
Oh, definitely, definitely. They've been talking about it since the end of last season. So with all of them coming back, they're eager and they're looking forward to it.
What did you learn about your team during that playoff run last year?
Oh, gosh. Well, they came together at the end. They realized it wasn't the end, especially the seniors from last year. They realized this was the beginning of a new chapter for them. So we kind of build on that. Everything is a learning experience, and that's what we used it as.
Should be another exciting year. Good luck to Bowie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
With Tiffany Barlow and Chris LeGrand representing Sam Houston. And Tiffany, if we could turn to you first. Tell me about the senior leadership you have this year and what excites you about the Lady Texans.
Well, I have 3 seniors this year. One is a transfer in, and the other 2 were veterans from last year. And I look for Taylor Duffy to do a lot for me. She was our leading scorer last year, and she's just one of our strengths.
Where is the strength of your team, position-wise, if you had to start, say, tomorrow?
Probably at the guard position. I'm not very tall this year, so we're going to be fast. We're going to have to get down the court quickly in transition, and because we don't really have a bunch of height.
Chris is in his first year, and I remember young Chris when he would shoot baskets before the UTA Mavericks would take to the court with his dad. You come from a basketball family. Bobby also coached. Chris, that has to help you in the long run.
Oh, definitely. I think just because I've been around it so long, I definitely have a lot of experience that I don't think it comes any other way other than just to be around it and to kind of know what it looks like, what it's supposed to smell like, what it's supposed to feel like, so to say. So definitely, I think growing up in a basketball family has definitely helped my preparation thus far.
You're probably pretty regimented on what you really want to do practice-wise day to day. Competitive-wise, what does it take to win in this district? How competitive are the Texans going to have to be, and what does it take really to be in that upper echelon of the district?
I think definitely guard play, like Coach Barlow mentioned earlier, just taking care of the ball and being fundamentally sound and being able to execute the things that we want to execute, get the shots that we want to get that lead into our strengths. I think definitely that's going to be a major factor in how successful we are. Definitely the guard play.
All right, tell me about some of the kids that we should keep an eye on this year.
We have a junior coming back. He got heavy minutes last year. His name is Chris Washington. He's a guard. He's going to be very instrumental in our success. We have another guard type forward player, Ahmed Hussein. He's about 6'4" this year. He's a returning letterman. And also Anthony Tarango is another swing player that can play a little forward and a little guard also. So those 3 guys we're really counting on to give us a lot of good minutes.
Tiffany, what lies ahead for the Lady Texans tournament-wise? Where will you be playing?
Well, we're going to Grand Prairie, the Lady Prairie tournament, and I'm really excited because this year we're going to College Station and playing the McDonald's tournament. So we're excited to go down there and get the girls. It'll be their first trip in probably 3 or 4 years, so they'll be excited to play. Okay, what is your main concern right now? Your biggest concern or hurdle that you really need to iron out before that first game? We're great starters. We start the game off powerful, and we go through about that midway third quarter, and then we start to die out. You know, so my thing is longevity, getting the girls to finish. So that's what we're working on. Yeah. Chris, tell me about the circumstances that led you to Sam Houston.
It's kind of a funny story. I started out in Lancaster as my first coaching job, and I always kept in touch with the people at Sam. I actually started out subbing when I was getting certified at Sam Houston, so I've developed a good relationship with Beverly McReynolds, and she remembered me once I got certified. And like I said, once I was in Lancaster and I saw an assistant coach job open up, I applied for it and happened to get it. So I was an assistant for the last 3 years, and now since Dante Wilson, he was our head coach last year. He went to the new school in Mansfield, Lake Ridge, and I applied for the head coaching job, and here I am.
How about the tournaments, Chris, for the Texans?
We're going to be in the Cedar Hill tournament. We'll also be in the Arlington Classic, of course, and we'll travel to Amarillo this year for a Christmas tournament.
That's a nice trip.
Yeah, it is. I think it'll be a good experience for the boys, get them out of town a little bit, get them on the road, have a little bonding there. So I think it'll really help us down the line for the district play.
Chris, good luck to the Texans. Tiffany, good luck to the Lady Texans.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With Brooke Britton and Jeff Plemons of Arlington Martin. And Brooke, if we can turn to you first, a couple of rounds deep In the playoffs last year, you have to replace Amanda Barnes, one of the most exciting guards that has ever played in the district. But looking back, Coach, it was a good year.
Yeah, it was really, we got everything out of it that we hoped for and more. Those girls just pushed hard all year, and we had a great year.
Things that you have stressed or things you really need to stress before that first game at Martin?
We're just trying to develop our chemistry right now. We're still a young team. We had 3 freshmen up last year, so we've got 3 sophomores on varsity. We've actually got 3 more freshmen this year, so we're just trying to mesh and get everything flowing, but they're working really hard.
Jeff, what excites you about the Warriors this year?
It's probably the best group of guards that I've had. We were very young last year. We've got 8 juniors, we've got a sophomore, and only 4 seniors this year. So knowing the fact that these kids are going to get a full year under their belt and I'm going to have them back again is really pretty exciting.
Couple of rounds deep in the playoffs a season ago, you protected home court pretty well. You only lost 1 home game last year, which is really key in the district.
Yeah, our kids, they set a goal to be undefeated at home. They missed it by 1. But I just think when you can take pride in your home floor and really step up and get the fan base there and create a tough environment, it makes it a fun place to play.
Brooke, tell me about the district race. So it should be as competitive as ever this year.
Yeah, every year, even the teams that used to struggle, they're really getting stronger. There's just a nice, solid, strong core this year. So, you know, coming out of our district, there's going to be battle in the playoffs, but it's going to be a race. And
the seniors know their role. I mean, you have to have good senior leadership. And you feel right now that they're there, or will it take 5 or 6 games?
I feel like character-wise and just leading by example, being disciplined, our seniors are phenomenal this year. Just finding that flow on the floor, it might take a few games, but they're in the right direction.
How about the tournaments for the Lady Warriors?
Well, we've got some good ones. We're going to the Lions Club tournament, and we're going to the Canyon Shootout out in Canyon, so they've got some good teams out there. And then, of course, the Mansfield Rotary Tournament, which is always a tough tournament.
That's a tough one, but it is always a good one to end on.
Oh, I like the tough ones because it really brings out the best of our kids. They learn how to battle through tough spots and then ready for district. So.
Jeff, you've always asked a lot out of your guards. Tell me about the guard play this year, and what about your height at the forward and the center position?
You know, overall, it's probably not one of our bigger teams, but we're returning the sophomore of the year in the district, Nick Babb, and he's a 6'5", 2'3" guard who's really had a great spring and a great summer, has drawn a ton of Division I interest this fall. And we had a sophomore at the post last year, Patrick Burke. He's shot up to about 6'6" now. So we feel good about it. It's going to take some of them a little bit of time to get their feet wet. But this, like I said, guard-wise, it's one of our best groups, and I really feel like we're going to shoot the ball better than we have in the past.
All right, what about the tournament schedule for the Warriors?
Tournament-wise, we start out at Thanksgiving. We have the Spring Creek Barbecue Thanksgiving Classic at Martin. Then we'll travel out to Midland for the Tall City Classic, and we'll finish up playing the Whataburger Tournament over at Thomas Coliseum.
Brooke, I know you're excited. I know you would like to get off to a good start in the district, which is easier said than done, but a good start would really go a long way, would it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think we're ready to compete with anybody. We just, getting that chemistry together and flowing. But if we could get some wins early in district, I know they'd be feeling good.
Jeff, how do you see the district race on the boys' side?
Oh man, it's going to be a tough one, just like it was last year. Bowie's returning all 5 starters. North Crowley's going to be strong as ever, and really everybody in town, Arlington, Lamar, and Sam, are all going to be better this year. So you're going to have to bring your A game every night.
All right, good luck to both of you at Martin High.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Jeannie, that's a look at the AISD basketball season ahead. Should be exciting. Fasten your seatbelt.
Well, John, thank you for conducting those interviews. Great job. You've got me in the basketball spirit. But I'm not telling you who I'm rooting for this year. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our show and you're in the mood for basketball too. Make it out to a few of our games and root for your favorite team. For Conversations, I'm Jeannie Curtis. Thanks for watching.